Chat. This should be working. Let me get everyone up here. We got some spaces going too. Yeah, being fixed. What's up? How we doing today, everybody?
Morning.
Good morning. While we get some people in here, let's Shy, actually I'm gonna end up messaging you at some point. But let's run through some of the big stories of the morning, and then by that time we'll see where everyone's at. There was activist investor Elliott Management. They've taken a $2.5 billion stake in Texas Instruments, ticker TXN. That stock's up about 3.7% in pre-market trading. There's a story that OpenAI has created an oversight team with Sam Altman on the board, and they have begun training a new model. So as we know, they cut a lot of jobs, and there was a lot of stories around them getting rid of their safety team. So bringing it back, I know that concerns some people. There was a story out of China that Apple's iPhone sales rose 52% year over year in April. I guess last April must have been terrible, and that's according to a research firm which is affiliated with the Chinese government. That is via Reuters. Apple's up about 1.5% in pre-market trading. There was a story that PayPal is planning to start an ad business using the data it generates from tracking the purchases of its customers, along with general spending habits. That was via the Wall Street Journal. PayPal quickly up. Here we go. 2.4% in pre-market trading. A little move. And then T-Mobile announced it was going to agree to acquire U.S. Cellular in a $4.4 billion deal. T-Mobile down about 0.3% in pre-market trading. We got the whole squad coming up here now. Shy, good morning. What are you watching today?
Morning.
Chat. Good morning, Rupesh.
I got a bullish note from Morgan Stanley this morning. They gave it I think it was a 422 price target, but they called out some specific metrics that were interesting. They anticipate CrowdStrike having a $5 billion ARR by calendar year 2025, and essentially gave it a roadmap on CrowdStrike becoming a $1,000 price stock by 2030. So definitely a bullish note.
We got the squad in here, Jim.
They report next
Rupesh,
week.
I hope you had a great weekend. Paul, welcome.
Caught my eye.
This is a little loud, isn't it? I'm getting used to back into this.
DraftKings was down 7% pre-markets.
Let me send some stuff out too.
This is due to the fact that pulling it up right now.
The
Illinois Senate approved a 2025 budget that imposes a 40% tax rate on operators with the highest AGR. This is essentially triple the current rate and making it the second highest in the U.S. after New York. New Jersey is kind of in the pipeline as well, being the next state to essentially double their tax rate. So DraftKings is down 7% pre-market, or was. And
good morning. Let me get this tweeted out.
Headwind for them in near term on their EBITDA margins. If
I hope you all are ready, excited for the week.
Increasing their tax rate, and it kind of makes sense. Like I don't think gamblers or degens are kind of caring about the tax rate on their winnings. So state can really kind of squeeze the juice in order to benefit themselves, especially in the early innings. Another call out I want to make was Sea Limited. Was down 6% pre-market. Indonesia's antitrust agency accused Shopee, which is Sea Limited's e-commerce platform, of breaking competition rules by directing customers to specific delivery services. This is such a nothing burger. If I was trading the stock, I would buy it on this dip when it was down 6 or 7%. This is very mob-like behavior where Indonesia just wants a piece of the pie that Shopee has in their region. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see some kind of V-shaped recovery in this name. And I think Indonesia, this happened multiple times with Sea Limited. It's like a non-new thing of they're just being a brats, essentially, and just wants a little more. Some other call-outs, actually we have 4 minutes before bell, so I guess I'll pass it back to you so you can give to everyone else.
Hey, I'm good with whatever. Wolf, let me give you co-host. Good morning, sir. How you doing? Oh, actually.
Yeah, morning.
I remembered as I said that, yes.
No, you're good. I'm actually not there yet. I'm going to head there shortly. Morning. No, I think Shy had the right idea. Let's run it around, see if we can get as many watch lists and things that people are looking at as possible. Morning, Casey. What are you looking at?
Good morning. I started my charting last night, and 2 names on my watch list this morning is ticker RUN. It's RUN.
Let's run through some of this stuff, see if there's anything else.
Above 13.55, which was my call trigger, to get the push up to
Futures and
$14, and then after that, I'm targeting a
Bitfarms
15.15
jumps
on
after.
run. It is
Yeah.
already up 5%
You guys
here
can see
pre-market, showing some really nice
Far
relative strength.
platforms.
So I'm going to look to
Midnight
get in
and that's made a
on
bid for
some
a smaller
calls,
Bitcoin
potentially $15 calls for June 21st
bid was
on this relative
rejected.
strength, and get into a swing trade here. Intraday this morning, I'm looking at Google. It has big support here at 173 psych level.
Let's keep looking
so I'm going to look to go long Google off the 173 area. If that level is broken today and it goes downside and the market showing weakness, then I will probably end up flipping and shorting Google at that time. Other than that, that is the only thing that I'm really watching this morning.
Looking through.
Sounds good. Thanks, Casey. What about you, Em?
Hey guys, good morning. Of course, the two main tickers I'm watching outside of my normal, futures and stuff. Coinbase, love the setup on the daily, even the weekly, with the catalyst behind it in the crypto space right now. So keeping an eye on that here at open. I did some research on it. Tuesdays as a whole, which today's not a normal Tuesday, but we'll kind of see how that plays in. But Tuesdays as a whole is historically best day to get in. So I'll be watching it today, or maybe see if tomorrow. We usually get a dip that second day of the week, so I'll be watching. I'm already in some, but I'd like to add to my position back now that I've taken some profits out. Netflix still watching the daily setup there, and then Jordan, who's running his space. His stock pick of the week last night, Enphase. I actually really like the Enphase chart. It's funny, I hear him talk about it all the time, but I pulled up the Enphase chart. I actually really like what that's looking like on a higher time frame too. So I'll be watching that for a swing play as well, and then we'll see. Kind of after the holiday weekend, I mean, obviously NVIDIA is ripping like crazy. QQQ, relatively unchanged over the weekend. Had a little spike overnight, but
market's open.
Relatively unchanged. So just kind of seeing what happens there.
See initial moves.
All right, we just got the opening bell, so I'll throw it back to someone else.
Yeah, Google with a nice little move higher in this first little candle we got coming here.
Also, I heard a rumor over the weekend that Kim test drove a Tesla and went to Sam's Club and said it was better than Costco.
There you go. Is HEB in like a supermarket or something?
Yeah, HEB is a big Texas thing, and then we have a bunch of them down here in Mexico.
Gotcha. Interesting.
I love every time I see an HEB because I call it a Heb, and it annoys the living daylights out of my girlfriend who's from Texas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can piss off a Texan real fast that way.
The rumors are true. I did test drive a Tesla, and I signed the papers, but, it's like 2 months or something for the color that I'm looking for, and I loved it. And we all know I've been very skeptical. So this is a big deal. If they can turn me, if Elon can turn me, he could probably turn a lot of different people. But no, I did not step foot in a Sam's Club. That would probably freeze over, like Angie said.
Oh yeah, what's GME doing in the morning?
Nice. I did go to Costco though.
Nice move in Google in this first little candle we got coming here.
I really like this relative strength here on Google, holding that 173 pre-market here.
GME pulling back a little bit. I know the meme stocks, we thought they were dead possibly, but they who would have thought a share offering on Friday is what struck GME to come back up. See how that does. Paper Frank, I see we got you down there. Feel free to come up. Always love to have your thoughts. Let's get some of the people involved. Stock Sniper, you watched anything this morning?
I got 4 micro levels I'm watching. Nothing really going on the economic calendar, in my opinion, that's too high impact.
Yeah.
But overall, when it comes towards SPY, we're in this interesting range. We're still in this 530 area. But I'm watching 531.23, 530.75, 529.87, and 529.30. Possibly to get that bounce off of that 529.30 idea. That's
nothing
my
really
ideal
coming on the
setup for the
macro
day.
calendar.
I want to see how we're going to behave
this is today.
once we get over closer towards that 530.75 level. SPY's looking pretty strong right now. But overall,
Earnings,
I'm waiting patient.
Kava Group after the close.
Setup. I know I preach about this all the time. But I really want to see that TRS, A+ setup and kind of get this nice trade.
Kashkari, consumer confidence for the governor. Yeah, not really much data coming. We have a little consumer confidence data coming at 10 a.m. Eastern. A couple Fed presidents speaking. Kashkari should be going in about 20 minutes. And then Cook and Daly speaking together at 1 p.m. Eastern. We also have a Kava Group reporting earnings after the close today. A little interesting for me. Besides that, APPS. I know FFIE is one that became popular on FinTwit for a short period of time. Stocks type, you got your hand back up?
Yeah, I know we have another space later talking about earnings. I have some stuff to add to that space later, but we do also have Costco and Dell earnings on Thursday after close. I think those will be interesting right there.
Dell's been a ripper recently. Did you know Michael Dell is the 11th richest person in the world? Interesting. I didn't until I saw it. Google with a nice move here still.
Yeah, these Google calls are freaking ripping. I just got a message from one of the listeners that took some Google calls, and they're up like 40% right here.
Yeah, that was a good call out. GG. Let's keep going.
Thank you.
Ariel, I don't think we've heard from you yet. Good morning.
Yeah, I'm actually watching Coin if it can kind of start to base a little bit over.
Chad, how was your guys' weekends?
Obviously,
Rupesh, Jim, Paul, you guys have a good Memorial Day weekend? It's tough being back.
And then Western Digital, they have been performing well. I don't know if it's kind of getting to the point where it's been consolidating a little bit too long. But they are in the right group. And for me, that's always a focus. So it's in the computer hardware group and obviously
Guild.
Dell is pretty much, the clear-cut standout leader.
Gap up.
Western Digital, WDC, is something that I've been watching now for the last few weeks. Personally, I
like
to see it fail one more time. I wouldn't necessarily use the word fail, but maybe a retest of that 50-day,
low, maybe.
Just so price can begin to flatten out a little bit more.
I see what you're saying.
Or the other option for me is potentially watching too short AMD. It's just been such a laggard to, NVIDIA. My thinking is I'm really not quite sure what an NVIDIA has to do to carry a name like AMD anymore.
You had a good relaxing day in front of the camera, in front of the computer.
I know a lot of people are just hoping and wishing that AMD would take off, but I don't know if NVIDIA has to get to 1300 for AMD to finally start to get some sympathy love, which makes me think that, AMD is a really good short candidate.
Oh, damn. AMD short.
Took some Delta calls.
What'd you say that again? You took some Delta calls? Is that what I heard?
Tesla.
Gotcha. Ooh, Tesla has been looking ugly this first 30-minute can at least. Let me get down to the fives. Interesting. We'll keep this one on watch.
Growth Tech is definitely fading at the open really aggressively. ARC's down a lot, and even CrowdStrike's now red after being up 3%. So growth is not in favor at the open so far.
Yeah, Crowd's also been on a nice run for the last few weeks as well.
I saw that Morgan Stanley upgrade they got. Morgan Stanley now sees them going over a $100 billion market cap by 12 months.
Wow. Which is wild. It's not even that much anymore. It's like, 15% move or 10% move. They're definitely up there. Zscaler got a bearish note, though. I forgot to call that out.
Only saying the good things, Shy, not saying the bad things. No,
that's why I downgraded Zscaler in my portfolio. It's just like I'm a little worried about their near-term print. Like Edge is obviously sought via Fastlane Cloudflare. It's not as strong as you think, and the private market for SASE is kind of aggressive. I'm a little worried. I just started Zscaler a couple months ago, so downgraded to just 40 shares. But still, it's definitely on caution. It's reporting the earnings on Thursday, so I don't think the stock will move too much until then. But definitely a lot of skeptics out there. Me included, potentially.
Porsche
I got a question
revealing first 911 hybrid sports car. Interesting.
And it was all of your long-term holdings. And I saw that you had a pretty big bet on PLTR, Palantir Technologies. And, I'm not saying I like it or hate it. I'm just curious. Could I ask why?
Yeah, I mean, are you familiar with the AIP, their AI platform they got launched 9 months ago?
Can't say I am.
It's essentially the operating system for enterprises potentially down the line that is, if you infuse this platform into their business, it essentially optimizes their efficiency. But the reason I'm becoming even more bullish on Palantir, I initially started below $10, but it was more of a high floor bet on AI with the government being infused into their business case, and
Celsius.
I just knew like if the U.S. government trusted them and they
Ooh,
keep
look at
using
this
there's a high
move down.
floor, but always the biggest gray area was could this actually scale on the commercial side? AIP 9 months ago got launched, and the quarter after quarter incremental growth is absolutely mind-boggling. It went from I think it was like 80%, 70%. Now it's like 50%. So
that's
it's
old.
clearly. I'm betting that was the inflection point. That if this gets to commercial scale with
I'll
their
ask on the spaces once he's done
25%
talking.
CAGR for the next 4 years, with already
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
25% free cash flow margins, 80% gross margins, I do think that this is like one of those names in the mid cap AI space where it can really scale if this AI thematic picks up more steam, as we've noticed. And they are technically the only pure play, profitable AI player out there. And because of that, I do think
Let's see. Let's
it's
go,
not a
Jim. Let's see
commodity
what you
AI
do.
play like the other LLMs.
Let me
I do
look
think
at
it's
those
going to start
comms.
getting more of a premium that it deserves once you see that commercial AIP revenue start ticking up in the top line. Biggest issue on Palantir right now is you're seeing this rapid
Are those
commercial
weeklies,
growth,
Jim?
but you're not seeing a trickle on the top line yet. Why is that? It's because it's a fat
Yeah,
purchase price. Like
I
this is
see
a
it.
massive
Would've been
capex
weeklies.
to initially get this installed, and something that's that level
Switches
requires
over to 5-minute candles.
so many C-suite signatures and process just to get it through the finish line. That once that whole onboarding experience goes, I do think it starts scaling quicker. That's why we're not seeing the translation yet from commercial clients to top
That's true. It
line
is.
revenue.
It is Tuesday already.
That's kind of my 10,000 foot view. I can get into it way more in depth, but it's like way technical, and I'm trying to simplify as much as people for everyone because it is such a black box that it took me. I'm in the space, and I'm still. It took me 4 months to truly understand their product and their thesis and what I'm envisioning for them long term. But hopefully that answer. If not, you can definitely DM me. I can answer some specific questions.
Very thorough answer as always.
What's happening with Celsius here? She's getting beat down pretty hard this morning. Opened the day around like 95, and we're around 86 right now. Wolf, what's up? I looked around. I didn't see any news stories around Celsius, so maybe it's just some movement. They did that mixed shelf offering. What was it, last week, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Interesting move from Celsius.
No, this is Celsius with volume too. This is interesting.
George, what are you looking at?
Got a lot of interesting things. The first thing I wanted is the Dell conversation because I've had my eye on it and it's been doing pretty well and you know my upside breakout rating, my net option sentiment rating, it's on good trends. But a little thing I just wanted to inject into this is I wanted to read their last revenues, the last 5 quarters. So it's like we basically got 22 billion, 22, 22, 20, and then 131, 23 was 25. So that's my big problem with Dell. It's growth, and when you're looking at them compared to an SMCI or NVIDIA, it's trading at a slight discount on 2025 forward PE relative to SMCI, but on far lower growth projections. And I think
I don't know about you guys. It's tough for me to get back into it after a holiday weekend.
Which is just like when you have these profitable companies that are growing
Let's see how this
faster, I think sometimes people are looking a little too hard on like what's the alternative, when I think I'd rather just load up more on SMCI or NVIDIA than broaden a portfolio to something that really hasn't seen that much revenue growth that might be in the right space. So that's the first thing I wanted to say. The second thing is I agree. I like the way Enphase is forming.
Nice 2 candles here for Tesla.
And, similar to what I was talking about, especially if you're looking at net option sentiment, I think we're seeing like a lot more bullishness in the short term in the options markets. So I think that's really good. Some names and themes that I'm watching other than that. I'm watching kind of a utilities pullback, and especially like one of my favorites that I've been kind of hammering for a while. CEG not having a very good day, but I've seen some bad days where I've exited and it turned around, and that's one of the main ways I watch utilities in addition to the sector level, because that's kind of like it's got a lot of AI attached to it. You might call it a growth
NVIDIA
utility.
5%.
So I think that's one of the things that I'm going to keep my eye on. If that, I don't expect it to have a great day today, but I've seen it be pretty volatile in the past. as I've been watching it, so I'll keep my eye on that. But basically on these thematic things.
If you guys are new in the chat, by the way, you should subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell button to get notified whenever I go live.
Any kind of switch coming. Another thing is PDD, where I've been kind of in and out of it lately. It's really going, in the screener that I ran, that's kind of looking at both like long-term and short-term signaling. It was actually at the top for the first time when I hadn't really seen it in the top 5 before. And that's like a lot of profitability and growth added in with kind of, the option sentiment readings that we do. But it's been pretty volatile this morning, going up and down. So I don't know if we've seen a bit of a short-term ceiling for it or kind of getting some levels testing. But I do think that that's one that has become a much more interesting pick for us. That I think we could see a lot of short-term movement if it kind of breaks through another ceiling. That's all the things that I'm watching. I would say actually on the short side, the things that I'm long on.
Jim, I'm looking at those 180 calls.
Keep on hammering.
Not
NVIDIA,
bad. Not moving against you so far.
I've really liked. I really like the way TDG is going lately. I just added it over the weekend. But on the short side, I'm looking at some retail things. I've been looking at Carter's. I've been looking at Wendy's. I've been looking at Warner Brothers Discovery. Those have been the shorts that I've been kind of the highest interest in lately. The only WBD and Carter's are in my portfolio now, but I might add Wendy's again.
There's these fast food brands are starting this $5 value meal coming. There's some competition. I saw McDonald's was launching theirs, and then Burger King said, yeah, we're going to launch ours, and we're going to do it before McDonald's.
Yeah, I think that there's two things that signals to the market. One, that they're really not happy with their profitability or their growth, and that's kind of what I'm seeing. So they have to kind of adjust, and I think inflation has been a big problem. There's started to be like a lot more things circulating on social media being like, this is what a McDonald's burger cost like 5 years ago, this is what it costs now. I think just like, I think more than the prices, people feeling them, those kinds of things can really hurt, and those kinds of perceptions that the brand is like kind of hurting them more than even general inflation because they're being opportunistic. I think people are much more sensitive to that. But yeah, I think these brands are worried about like the pain, especially coming in the future, and they want to get out in front of that. And if people become kind of tighter with their wallets, I think they want to be the ones that are perceived as a brand that's like reaching out to people looking to save money.
There was that whole Chipotle thing that's going on too. That's like if you have your camera out, they're apparently going to give you a fat burrito, and if you don't, then you're normal screwed. But I have to say, I was doing a road trip over the weekend. Went to Foxborough for a game, and drove back to New York. We stopped at McDonald's. It was expensive. I was like, oh wow, I actually do see what's happening here. That was a crazy expensive chicken burger. It was decent, still tasted good, but expensive.
Markets just went green to red here, getting a lot of sells in tech.
What are you watching today, Shark? Any names top of mind for you? Celsius getting beat down still.
No, I'm watching market drop here.
QQQ already filled the gap. SPY's almost there.
NVIDIA was up 5% in the day a second ago. I'm sure it's pulled back a little bit, but 1100. Everything's pulling back. We're right around like actually it's probably a little bit below a half gap of that last candle for Google. So this would probably be... Emp, you were watching Google, or was it KC? It was KC, wasn't it?
It was. Had a nasty shooting star on the 5-minute. It's coming back to pre-market highs.
And then now you've got AMD just kind of, doing almost exactly what you would expect for the lagging name. Already went red on the day.
Metal's doing well today, especially silver with the comeback.
Yeah. Kind of a little nasty pullback there, even on the silver from those highs too. The whole market really.
Yeah, AMD with a couple ugly candles here at the start. First one, no, 3 out of 4 red candles so far in the 5-minute. Makes sense. We're working on the 4th one. Kim,
there's a gap fill. Sorry, there's a gap fill on SPY and SPX.
Kim, silver was said. I know that's a name that you're watching. What's the latest there for you?
Yeah, I'm long. Actually, this time I went long. Instead of just buying the silver futures, I bought a call spread on SI. So because it was having like a down move, so I just decided to do a spread, which has actually been working out pretty nice.
Saudi
I'm
Arabia
kind of seeing
today's
how it
10 to
trades
put
different than me just buying out.
They need money.
Buying the straight out futures, because I don't usually do options on the futures. The advantage to options on futures is that you don't have the theta decay.
Yeah,
so there is still some slippage, but it's not the same Greeks as if you're trading regular options. So, yeah, Sharky, silver, are you still long it?
Yeah. We're kissing that, right around that big level here. I don't know if it can get over.
So I have these long dated, and so no problem just sitting here watching it. Again, it moves a lot on geopolitical, so I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but then also noticing that Myrna, so that's one of my holdings that I've had for about the last couple of months, and that's taking a big pullback. So I don't know if there was news or something on that today, but it's also been kind of a high flyer right out of the 105, 100 about there. That's about where I bought it at 105. It's been straight up. So maybe it's just taking a little breather. Maybe, Evan, you know some news on it. And then a silent one that I don't hear many people talking about is Qualcomm. So that has been straight up from about 157. About 150.
I believe Micron also hit new all-time highs this morning.
Yeah.
Micron.
Yep. I see that. I'm long that via Leaps. But Qualcomm, I own the stock outright. I've owned it for a long time. And so it's nice to see it getting some love, but it doesn't get a lot of eyes on it, at least as far as options in any of the spaces that I'm in. So be on the lookout for that one, except it has flown quite a bit. They're going to be doing the AI chip in iPhones. And so I don't know if you call it an AI chip, but, whatever they're doing with the cell phones, that's where it kind of started on that AI theme, breaking out. So yeah, those are the things that I'm looking at today. Shai, do you ever look at Qualcomm?
I don't, because I don't have the kahunas for the China exposure. But it's definitely one of those hidden moats. Like, nobody really knows, like, a lot of other companies in the semiconductor industry that has, like, a massive moat, like, similar to NVIDIA. Qualcomm is one of those for the smartphone. So, definitely not my cup of tea, but I definitely respect it.
Yeah, Apple's been trying their best to stop using Qualcomm chips, and they just can't.
So, this is wild growth action this morning with DraftKings and Celsius. I'm not seeing anything really to justify this 12% gap down on both names.
Boeing some relative strength today.
Boeing with some relative strength today. Damn, every single candle's been green so far. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Let me look through my anything else.
Let me tell you what doesn't have relative strength that's making a really nice pullback if you got in shorts. Moderna.
Moderna, I know Kim was just talking about that.
That was the one I was just saying. I didn't know if there was some news or something. I'm long that.
It's been a weird week for movements for Moderna anyway. Like, there's been some stories around different drugs or whatever, but nothing too much. I think it's just Moderna's been.
It's technical.
Yeah.
It was by many metrics way overbought. It hit a very key level, 170. It was, straight up into the right the last several days. Very extended from moving averages even on the daily. It's just technical. But, man, I missed that one.
There are definitely some pockets of good moves here. I'm seeing PayPal off that story in the morning looking decent. Even Qualcomm and Airbnb, I know you were just talking about Qualcomm, both up around 1%. NVIDIA with some outperformance, up basically 5% on the day.
Celsius is getting crushed.
What is?
Oh my God, Celsius.
Oh yeah, it is. Frank, what else are you watching
14%.
today? I know, that's a big move. I only got a picture of it down 10. I really didn't even see Celsius news, Frank.
What the heck is going on with Celsius?
It's just a mixed shelf offering.
But that was last week, so it's a little weird.
I'm selling you animals.
If someone just did a rug pull at the open.
Too long.
Wolf and I should have had some puts on that.
I want to like DCA into it. This is actually a beautiful dip.
Scale Tesla call. Scale Tesla call. Sorry, I had to drop down and come back.
Charlie Lima Foxtrot, CLF, Cleveland Cliff shares getting out.
Yeah, Celsius. It is pretty ugly. I know Shot said DKNG too. Yeah, damn. DraftKings is ugly too. Frank, look at DraftKings.
Saved on that, Casey. Oh my god, that was looking scary for a second.
Kashkari is talking now.
Yeah. Oh, it hit my buy zone, man. I gotta try it. It's worked the last 3 times, so now this is 4. So we'll see if we get continuation again.
In my live chat,
bouncing.
Jim.
I was watching. I was like, oh god, looks like it's gonna break. I'm like, nope, don't break, because I knew you were gonna start watching. I was like, no.
Another stock that's got a big move.
Let's go,
down
Jim.
today is
Nice.
PANW.
That's a good little move.
I'm on the West Coast, so I just got up right before this space, so I haven't had time to dig into some of this stuff. But I'm also long that one, so I've got 2 big long.
Yeah, nice. You're out. Are you out of Tesla? Oh, you said out. Nice, good move.
Kim, cybersecurity has a weak performance to the industry because of Zscaler downgrade, which is specifically a Zscaler issue. So, CrowdStrike, Palo Alto, and Zscaler, you can see right at the open, just cliff dive.
Nice opportunity to get in.
And those are all long-term holds for me, not trading. So just FYI.
Tesla with a nice little move higher here. I know we were talking about that. Boeing's still continuing now that that's on the radar.
So an interesting half glass full name that's actually performing well is PGY, Pagaya Tech. Small cap fintech name, just announced it's going to get in the Russell 2000. It's showing some relative strength. It's a highly shorted name. I could see this, if the market does bounce and starts leveling out, I could see this name running.
Interesting.
We do have a Fed speaker,
Kashkari.
Crashkari, as people like to call.
I've seen some squawks. I haven't seen any. He actually already started squawking. I don't know if they just put
some squawk, yeah.
So
Usually
we'll see.
hawkish, so definitely have to pay attention.
Wage growth is still quite robust relative to the 2% goal, Kashkari says. Labor market has softened but remains tight. So we'll see. But yeah, I'll keep you updated on what Kashkari says. I think there's a little bit of data at 10 a.m. too.
Consumer confidence.
Yeah, consumer confidence.
I was going to mention that next, but I wanted to get to Crashkari real fast because, same as you, I started hearing some squawk.
Yeah, he can be a bit more.
U.S. labor market has softened but remains tight.
Kashkari, I don't think anyone has taken rate increases off the table. There you go. That will spook the market a tiny bit.
Yeah, I'm waiting for this order to get set before I take any trades here, but goodness gracious, that's not a good comment.
I think we're going to come up.
Says, don't think anyone is taking rate increases off the table.
Google had a really nice first candle, and it's just been the last the first 5 minutes, and then the rest of this the opening 30 have just been walking that candle back. Boeing also trying to give back its last candle too.
ARM isn't doing new highs.
Ooh,
damn. There definitely are some pockets of strength in this market, so it's not all down.
Futures falling further now, 53.1875 down to 0.50.
Nvidia moving to the high of day. King of Goose in my chat said Crocs is looking good this morning. It's looking decent. Crocs had a nice move up, big candle down, and it's like about halfway gap back up on that big candle down. Note, I am looking on the 5-minute chart, so when I say big, it really isn't that big of a move.
Small caps are showing some strength this morning. Interesting.
IWM or just different pockets?
For sure, small caps semis, but IWM is green, so I think up 0.3% still.
Yeah, IWM definitely some strength this morning. Interesting. Oil is up big time too. It's up 2%. CL oil futures.
XOP is looking decent.
I was gonna say XLE is our strongest sector right now.
What's up, Kale?
Real estate's actually second on my list of strongest sectors so far. Everything else is pretty much red. Technology, because of NVIDIA, is basically break even right now.
NVIDIA's high of day. A little bit below it, now back above it.
I have Meta on watch too. It's actually holding flat with tech lower, and it had a strong day Friday, breaking above that trendline resistance. So I have it on watch if it can hold this 474 today.
Rachel, you haven't been up here the whole time, right? I would have called you before.
No, sorry, I got on late.
Shark, which should we watch?
Gary said policy is restrictive by most.
I just think we're going to backtest yesterday as well.
Interesting. Rachel, you watching?
Well, in the futures, at least.
You watching anything else today? NQ? I'll pull that up, but...
Yeah, I just have it on watch. I do like Meta, like I said. I'm watching Airbnb too. It held the 200-day last week, and it's actually green today, so I'm watching that for a possible reversal. It looks like it might start forming a little downtrend break on the daily, so maybe I might pick up some shares, but I have it on watch for now.
Yeah, I was noticing Airbnb being a little bit stronger in my my portfolio today. I'm seeing Jim is saying high volume on 195 CLH calls for the weeklies. Maybe they're trying to put up the good fight. Don't want it going down to zero right away. Oh, it got at least got one green candle forming here for Celsius, stopping the full downtrend pattern.
Oh, it actually held the 50-day. Or I guess 82 is the 50-day, so...
No, that's around where it held. I see, like, it had a wick down to 81, but the candles are at 82.
Yeah, she just beat me. I just got into a day trade for
Heard, yeah, Jim, that makes more sense. I should have realized when you said 195.
Yeah, I tried to buy some calls and missed it.
Yeah, me too, Frank. The spread was a little too big, so I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do commons.
Yeah, I think I'm going to add common too with you guys.
We have this consumer confidence data coming out in a minute. I don't think it's something that really moves markets aggressively, but we'll see.
Yeah, coming out right now.
Yeah. Let's see. It is 10. Any movements?
I believe there's a Fed speaker right now, too.
Kashkari, yeah, Kashkari.
Consumer confidence 102, previous 97. Estimates were 95 to 96. So big. I don't know if you want to call it a beat, but consumer confidence coming in a lot higher than previous and consensus.
The consumer is confident.
Well, it seems like the SPY does not care.
Well, it's interesting because what we've seen in a lot of earnings report has said that there's not a whole lot of confidence in the consumer. So it's an interesting metric.
There was a
IWM, new low of day.
Yeah, I'm seeing a little bit move lower here. NVIDIA was moved lower. So I guess the move lower off, the data is being taken negative for the market. Took a lot for me to say that. But it's long, coming back after a long weekend. Tough to get back into it. I'm just going to shut up. Someone else talk, please. Love you. Bye.
I wanted to say, snowflake. I heard you, Evan, and
Yeah,
I was laughing, but now it's down.
But now it's down, so now I can never do that again.
I was like, snowflake.
And now we're down. I have my cost basis on my chart, and we're below it.
Yeah, no, I have it too. I know Shai has it too. Maybe Casey.
I added 10% after hours at 170. I look like a schmuck. No, it's just an investment here. I'm very patient. I'm the same.
I like snow 2 to 3 years out, like building a position 2 to 3 years out. Longer term.
I had little snowflakes, and now the cost basis is 160.30.
That's terrible though.
Oh, 100%. I love the long term, but nobody knows when that's going to start getting that flock of investors saying, "Oh, it's happening within a year," because market's front
I need to get my
looking.
charger.
So I'd rather be first. I'd rather park my cash there, knowing it's going to happen, don't know when, and I'll look for the other names like the Z scalers out there who are just struggling this year. It's crazy. That's a CrowdStrike and Zscaler has always been like the fantasy merger. It would never happen because the Zscaler CEO would never won't sell the company. Like you saw rumors of Broadcom potentially acquires Zscaler. I think it was last week. That would be a dynamic merger as well. It's just Jay, the CEO, just will not sell. But the valuation is going to gain to a place where if CrowdStrike's at $100 billion and Zscaler is still hovering around $20 billion, it's not that much of a wild merger anymore of equals. It's more of an acquisition. That'll be a dream scenario for CrowdStrike shareholder, but Hail Mary if that happens.
You have a small uptick in rates as well this morning, and the dollar bouncing on the 200 days. So for now, I probably just am expecting a little bit of chop in these markets.
Watch Coinbase here, big buy off the lows.
Yes, sir. I was just about to call that out, Casey. I like how well it's holding in here. Just crypto in general, holding in pretty strong.
Coinbase looks wiki on like the 5 minute. Some wiki
Tesla call is going back.
Going back to back.
I hate coin options, but
the daily was too beautiful.
What are we looking at?
Chat, I need to get my charger. I'll be back.
You could always buy some Conel. CONL. Shout out Banisters.
Shout out.
Man, look at the spreads though on coin, like 10 DTE calls. Oh my god. Some of these spreads. I'm looking at like the 280s. The bid's 190 and the ask is 247. What the hell?
Boeing's having a decent morning. So I want to bring attention to Evan's tweet. I tweeted it last night. It seems like Boeing has bad press and a bad plane incident like every other day. But Evan's tweet with the actual data on that, I love it because we've actually seen less commercial air incidents than normal so far this year. And if you were just paying attention to the news and the narratives, you would think that there's no way that's possible.
One thing that you have to also consider, is like, it's never going to be good news. It's not like anybody cares about all the planes that safely landed, So, I mean, it's only talk when something bad happens,
Exactly. And it's one of those snowball effects too, right? When something has a couple negative stories like that and eyes are on it, then they just keep, any incident that maybe in a normal year you probably wouldn't even hear much about, it gets highlighted way, way more. Classic media. What are the eyes looking for? Keep putting it out there in their face. Keep feeding them. Who was mentioning Airbnb?
GRPN,
I like that chart.
$17.12. Go from your pop in November.
All right, Chad, I'm back.
A little seasonality in Airbnb to think about here.
A little sale here.
Hey Evan, quick question: when you're using Predictogram, do you have to set like the specific price, or does it give you?
It gives you a range.
The appeals court to hear legal challenges to law that can ban TikTok in September.
So you just put up or down. Like for example, this morning, I did a couple upside predictions. Let's see how they're doing. Tesla 100. For some reason, it made Nvidia downsides when I did upside, but they both hit. So I'll say I did that. Yeah, well, actually going to be a decent morning for me.
Is there like a stop loss on your prediction?
No.
So I could bet on SPY going up $1, and it can go down $10 and then up $11, and that'll still be accurate.
As long as in your time frame, yes.
Order filled.
Kashkari, short run neutral rate may have gone up temporarily. It's actually something that I would think markets would move down off of. Scared off that. Not really. Tesla's still trying to chug along, back up, see if it can work back that first candle.
Please.
Google, actually, it was coming back down off of that first candle where Google looks like it would be a fun roller coaster.
Yeah,
On the
Google
5 minute.
and Amazon. So Google had 175 psych level support down there, and then Amazon had 180. They both got big buys when they re-entered into those zones. I'm looking for Tesla to break finally above this 175.40. If it can get a close on the 5 in above 175 and just get that pop to the 21 EMA, it's right at almost 176, 175.90. I'll take another trim there.
Casey is going back through some of my DMs. One of our listeners grabbed your Google call out a while ago and got over 100%. Took a con from 0.45 to over 0.9.
Oh, let's go.
Shout out to Jeff. Jeff's a killer.
Oh, Jeff? Fuck yeah.
Yeah, you know Jeff. Jeff's a killer.
Yeah. Jeff's always sniping it. IWM just filled its gap perfectly here, almost to the penny. So now watch for a support bounce here, especially with SPY and Qs.
Google wants it. Come on.
Send it to the
moon. One of my favorite restaurants, that's like the when you call up and they put you on hold for a second, that's what they play.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I would automatically return to that restaurant.
Oh, the food is awesome too. The food is awesome.
Arm
Watch
Holdings
out for
having a very good morning.
They slashed the 200-day at $34 for the first time since this rally began, essentially like 3 months ago. Looking to recover it at $36.91. So it's bouncing right now a couple percentage points, seeing what it does at that $37 price area.
There's a little bit has to get up to get over to 37. Nice 4 candles.
Did you say ARM?
Yeah, ARM is ripping faces.
Is it? It has a bull flag on the daily that I was looking at on Friday. Is it? Oh yeah, it broke out of it. Oh my god, yeah.
Celsius is ripping hard right now. I just went 3. Look at that candle, 5-minute candle.
What'd you say, Celsius?
Yeah, it's 9%, only down 9%. So I guess it was just down.
I still see Celsius down almost 13%.
Oh my god, is Trend Spider lagging on me? Come on, it's the worst when that happens.
Yeah, I have Celsius sitting at $83.09.
Damn, you're right.
Ooh, ARM is ripping. ARM is ripping to new highs now.
Dude, ARM is... Holy shit. I'm not chasing that. There's no way.
How's the volume today?
Let's check SPY. SPY is at 5.5 million right now.
That's low.
So kind of low for being 40 minutes.
Isn't the usual like 8 million first hour?
It's actually not too bad then.
Yeah, I think usually, I like to see in the first like 45 minutes to an hour, I want to be as close to 8 to 10 million as possible. Anything below like 7 or 8, I'm like, yeah, this is kind of dry.
We did switch to T+1 from T+2 today. So maybe that's an impact.
I saw that notification this morning. I don't know. Does anybody know when the brokers are going to adjust that?
No. I think it's today.
Sure.
I think that's why memes are going off, though.
Here we go, Tesla.
That's a great point. Who said that?
Me, George.
George, that is a great point. I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of, especially retail, that, if you're buying shares or playing around with that and you have to wait, 2 days in a cash account for it to settle, that could be a big change for some people in the memes. Interesting point.
Yeah, I also wanted to say one thing about Kava. I think that like some of the stuff in terms of I actually was going to Whole Foods and I traditionally I'm Greek and I don't really like the tzatziki that I buy, but I really like theirs, and that could start impacting earnings in terms of and I think we might see more brands doing that. But yeah, I think that it'll be interesting to see. I don't follow their earnings calls that closely. I've just become kind of a new follower of the stock, but I don't know if anyone sees if they break that unit out, how much it's growing. But I think that's an interesting thing for retail brands, especially some of these higher quality retail brands that are popping up.
Kava's
They
great.
report after close, right?
Yes, today after the close. I think it's their third time reporting earnings, maybe. I love me
I'm
some
gonna
Kava.
research that.
The food more than the stock. The stock's fine.
In terms of retail stocks, like in our signals, like it's as good as any of them. I mean, I think the main ones that I tend to play are Chipotle and Booking, just because those seem to on a regular basis have the most positive options dynamics. But Kava's like a dark horse coming up. I'm seeing it on my screeners more and more that are just like thrown in with general stocks, with positive long and short term options dynamics. So that's why I have my eye on it a lot more. And I do think the other thing on that note is that I think more and more people are just like, in terms of the retail stocks that they play, something that I've now seen for a few years. I think with the rise of like social investing, I think more and more people are just playing brands that they know and growth brands and brands that they see kind of like popping up in more locations. I think that's kind of a direct line. And you could say that kind of makes them overvalued at points, or you could see them relative to other retail stocks. Or you could also make the argument that they're undervalued.
Yeah, see, this
because
100
they'll
days till
continue to
football's
get
back.
kind of that attention, especially as they grow, especially as more locations pop up, and especially as people see more and more of their products in supermarkets. I think that's powerful.
I am a fan. I've not seen it in the supermarket yet. I would be down. I get 2 tsatsikis, 1 hummus when I get my Kava, so I'm for it.
I've been buying their stuff at Whole Foods. I mean, I don't know if it's like a national rollout yet, but if I have anything to do with it, they'll roll it out in more stores.
So as far as Kava earnings, the previous earnings we saw 2.12% change. Implied move is $8.77. The last quarter we saw only 0.42%. 2.12% on the day. Previous quarter minus 7.72, and the third quarter before that 1.16. 3 earnings reported so far. So far there's 12,651 options volume on the day and 123,458 open interest contracts.
You know, I'm looking at their... Go for it. Sorry.
Quite a lot of people betting on Kava. That's all I was going to say.
I'm looking at their previous numbers, and they were hanging in that like $170 million revenue range for 3 quarters in a row. And then this quarter, they're expected to get up to 250. So I was going to make the comment, I'm not really seeing their growth here, but looks like this quarter could be some of it.
I was just looking at the same thing over on Earnings Hub, so shout out to them. I was reading through that AI summary from the last call that they are in. I haven't ever experienced Kava, but I've just seen it as a trade. But 24 states and District of Columbia, so it would be interesting to see what kind of growth that they show after this call.
Scaling Tesla calls here. Sorry.
Maybe a side burner idea for me.
Ooh, Tesla is moving well in your direction right now. Nice.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have a Kava in like the 68th percentile on projected growth, and so yeah, I think that's like how
there we go, baby.
Our growth numbers is we do kind of like simulations, economic simulations around analyst forecasts. We weight some analysts, like successful analysts, more than others.
Would have failed.
But yeah, I think that when I talk about Kava growth, I'm looking forward based on the way analysts are projecting them.
Watch for a little downside here.
Yeah, I'm looking through that AI summary too. It's a good call out. Oh, let's see. Take a quick back look around. BA, is there still strength there? Nope. No. Shark, look at Boeing.
Oh, I took my eye off it. Did it die?
Yes, it died. Eyes aren't continuing. Arm's still moving higher. NVIDIA, it was near the high of day, but it's pulled back a little bit, but still kind of strong. A little wicky, I would say. Choppy. Stroppy. What's Apple doing? I know it had the good news in the morning. Honestly, nothing.
All right, I'm going to be taking another light trim here on Tesla, breaking above 176.
Yeah, that was a nice move there. What is like the goal, the top of the first candle, like 176.40 about? You might get some resistance there. But it wants it.
About right. right here. Yeah, 176 to 176.50. I'm going to be out over half the position here, and then I'm just going to be scaling my stop, just moving it up as Tesla keeps on going. But I've played the same buy zone on Tesla.
Jim, I don't want to know what those calls are at now.
I think I hit it 2 or 3 times last
168, not
week.
bad.
This was
You got
nothing
out.
more than
It
a
was a good
retest
move
of that
going
area.
out.
So, I mean, I just got to stick to what's been working.
Yes, sir. That makes sense. I haven't seen too many more Qashqai squawks. NASDAQ rises to record level above 1,700 as NVIDIA shares jump. Interesting. That's a headline that I just got from CNBC.
Coin must be popping here because those contracts just went from 75 to 95.
I'm not playing it, but if anyone's looking for a runner, I've been watching HubSpot. It's been really spiking in our option sentiment ratings, and it was going up before. Now the headline was released. It looks like Google's looking at an all stock deal to acquire them. So yeah, there might be a momentum play there. I'm not personally playing it. Just some people that do, they might like to check that out.
Q's not all-time highs, but I just got notification that NASDAQ was. Interesting. I know they're not directly correlated, but pretty close. All right. I'm excited for this Kava earnings after the close. I remember on like $30, $40, I was like, I want it to come down another 10% or so before I start buying in, and then we ripped. It is what it is. Celsius holding slumps after Nielsen data. So apparently if Nielsen data cools off a little bit is what's happening with Celsius.
Same with me with Kava, Evan. I mean, I was trying to like not chase it, and because I do think the places are so crowded. They have such a great variety. We don't have them where I am. I know a lot of places that don't have them, so they have a lot of room for expansion. I know, Rachel, you've talked about it as well, but so I went into Sweet Greens instead. That's the stock I ended up buying as a sympathy play.
Yeah, I have called out 48, and honestly, I thought I was chasing it there. But I am interested to see what they do after the bell, because like you guys were saying, I mean, it's only in 24 states, and in Northern Virginia, there's always lines out the door when I go, so, and they have a lot of locations.
Yeah, the 1 near Grand Central, which I went to a good little bit. This was pretty busy during the days. If you go at the right time, if you go on weekends, it's not.
Miami one's pretty busy all the time.
The problem is though, it's a really expensive stock, so it has to become a Chipotle type company, just to kind of make any sense. We'll see. And I've noticed these kind of food brands get undervalued than I would normally expect them to be. Like I would expect a lot of these companies to be like cult names. There's only a couple of them. Like a restaurant brands, a QSR, a Yum brand. Like these aren't the massive companies.
I just think the thing is they have a nice little niche with being
Chat, I'm gonna go on mute so I can blow my nose.
Food. Not just getting a salad.
Sorry.
I just went ahead and shared a tweet with the space regarding all the Kava earnings data that I shared earlier.
I appreciate that. Yeah, implied move, previous reports. So basically what you're saying is the implied move's not going to happen. These idiots.
Question, who is their biggest competitor? Would it be like Tzatziki's or something like that, if y'all have those?
No, I've never heard of that. In New York City, we have a lot of names. Like there's a place called Dig or Dig In or whatever it is. There's a place called Mama Ganoush. There's like a lot of different places like that, but they're more regional in the city. And honestly, Kava's come out on top of a lot of them. But there's names. I would also consider Chipotle to be kind of a competitor. Same vibes, different food.
I do need to clarify that Chipotle's is non-Mexican. I just want to throw that out there.
I'm fine with that. I enjoy it.
Sorry, it's I'm contractually obligated to say
their
that.
biggest one.
I love me some Mo's. What'd you say? What's their biggest competitor?
Simbiza Brands, according to Craft.co.
Never heard of it.
Sweet Green is also listed as a big competitor to them. You know, I feel like any smart casual restaurant, I don't quote me on that, I believe that's the term for this kind of restaurant, you know, like Chipotle, like Chicken Kitchen, you know, like these kind of restaurants where you show up and you customize your bowl or burrito or your item. You know, I feel like those are all kind of directly competitors, you know, different ethnicities or styles.
I don't know how,
you know, but
another chain, a Mediterranean chain.
All right, chat.
Know how.
I think that might be it for the morning live stream here. This was kind of more for me just to get back into it. Long weekend. I didn't go on Friday too, so I needed to feel back into it and feel ready. If we have a crazy day, I'll go live again later today. And check out Kava, it's good. But yeah, team. I'm gonna close this off here. I may be live back later today if we have a busy day. I appreciate each and every single one of you guys for coming in and hanging out with me. If you enjoy it, subscribe, hit that bell button to get notified whenever I go live. Kava will be growing. I'm telling you, it will be big. It's actually tastes really great. I'm in New York City, so it was definitely a good bit there. But yeah, I appreciate each and every single one of you. I will catch you all later. Like I said, this was a little bit more for me just to like get back into the flow of everything, so it's not like so hard. So Tuesday morning after a long weekend is always difficult. And yeah, so I will keep you all updated in the Discord if I'm going live or whatever, or the Instagram live stories thing or whatever it's called. But yeah, I appreciate you all. Jim, Anon, have a great day. Have a great week. I will catch you all latest tomorrow morning, but I think I might go live later today. We'll talk. Have a good one, everyone. I'll catch you later. Enjoy. Peace.